The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.
Well, it's Gabs FM, powered to engage your world. And of course, welcome to the Stars and Stripes radio show, proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy in partnership with Gabs FM and of course, hashtag America in Botswana. Let me tell you something. Investing in human capital is absolutely essential for the growth and development of any nation. Human capital refers to knowledge, skills, abilities, and other intangible assets that individuals possess and can contribute to the economy. Investing in human capital involves providing individuals with their education, training, and other resources that enable them to develop and enhance their skills. And of course, Mandela Washington Fellowship. The Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders is the founding flagship program of the Young African Leaders Initiative. The fellows between the ages of 25 and 35 are accomplished leaders in their own right and have established records of promoting innovation and positive impact of their communities and countries. And of course, we have some YALI initiatives and YALI alumni, of course, and of course, what is the appropriate prospects? What's the appropriate word, Samantha?
Prospects.
Qualify. They've already qualified.
They are the fellows. And of course, we have Wabi Letao, who's Emergent Voices and Alumni Coordinator in the building. What up, Queen? I'm good. I'm awesome.
Fantastic.
For the first time, I get to start the show.
Yes. You are the head and not
Today,
the tail.
I am here to talk in great lengths about a program that I so much love and I said so much about. So I'm very delighted to be here, Swift.
Fantastic. And we've got two fellows who are going to be part and parcel of the Partner Spotlight. Look, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to introduce them now. I would like you to introduce them as, somebody who's worked hand in hand. Congratulations to these two Botswana who are still part and parcel of the youth. Amazing. Human capital is my passion. You know that.
I know that. No, that you will not be taking my job.
Okay.
Waban, you will become one of those people I can shine with and say, I did a good job with you, Swift. Yeah.
The promise here at its best. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. Look, Botswana is listening. Batsadi ba ready. What is the Young Leadership Initiative? What does that mean? Whether we like it or not, conversations around leaderships are being had by Botswana, both from a public sector point of view to a private sector point of view. Even, dare I say, on the continent of Africa, leadership is an important conversation. Walk us through that.
I'm very delighted that I get to talk about YALI. And the one thing that I really want all of us to know is that, there's an umbrella. It's an initiative. So an initiative has an umbrella of services within them. But in a nutshell, the Young African Leadership Initiative, which we refer to as YALI, is a signature effort to invest in the next generation of African leaders.
Absolutely.
So it was founded in 2010, but the main reason why this initiative came about was to support young Africans as they, spur growth and prosperity, to strengthen democratic governance, and also enhance peace and security across Africa. So within the YALI initiative, it actually has 3 components.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it a little bit, details later on.
Yes.
So the first component that obviously it has the Mandela Washington Fellow, hi, MWF, and obviously I do have the newly 2023 Mandela Washington Fellows, who you will meet later on. I have Fikile Morake as well as Babuluki Semele, but obviously don't want to go into that. Okay. So the second component of this initiative is called the YALI Regional Leadership Centers and the YALI Network. So as I mentioned earlier on, it started in 2010. And it has been growing ever since.
Wow. And I know, Samantha, there's a lot of YALI alumni, the likes of Peño Moroka, the likes of Zeus, the likes of Kialebora Duhutso. And, there's so many of us, both in the private sector, in broadcasting, in arts.
Yes.
You know, that's what I think is the beauty about this particular program. It does not stand for one pillar, but it goes across the different elements of industry.
Yes, different elements of industry, and because leadership is required in every single industry.
Absolutely.
That is so true. I think this gets us to our next question, Wabile. You mentioned the three different components. You talked about Mandela Washington Fellowship. You talked about Yali Regional Leadership Center and the Yali Network. What is the difference between all? Is there a difference? What is the difference so that we don't get confused?
Yes, there is a huge difference. So let me start off with the big one, being Yali Network, right? So the Yali Network provides members of the community an opportunity to connect as leaders in the community. And you can actually just go online and register to enter the Yali Network, right? In Botswana right now, we have over 7,000 network contacts through the Yali Network, right? So it is, imagine yourself just going in, and there is this great WhatsApp group that has been created of young leaders, and you also can partake in various opportunities that young people actually can partake in. So it is a free platform, it's online, and through the Yali Network you are able to get training and professional development, online conversations with people across the globe, across Africa. So to learn more, obviously just go online, go to the yali.state.gov. That's Yali Network, right? And then we have the second portion of it, which is the RLC. Now the Yali Regional Leadership Center provide in-person as well as online training for those who may not be able to travel to the US, like these two fellows, right? So in Africa right now, the RLC is in South Africa.
Okay.
And when you go to South Africa, you then I think we are hosted by UNISA.
Okay.
And so when you get there, you also get the same training such as leadership in governance, or maybe you want to learn about business, civic engagement, right?
Yeah.
You spend more than 3 weeks fully paid for by USAID in South Africa. Then after that, obviously, is the big bang. My favorite is the Yali Mandela Washington Fellowship. This is where now all this training that you definitely get through the Yali Network, through the RLC centers, you actually get to travel to the United States of America. So this year we have 18 fellows who will be traveling to that for those different institutes. We have
wait, the 18 fellows ke
Botswana fellows.
Okay, fantastic.
These are young leaders
from the age of 25 and 35. Okay, fantastic.
Yes. And so they'll be traveling to the US this coming June.
Okay, nice.
And they are in 3 tracks. They're selected. We have fellows that will be focusing on the civic engagement leadership. There's the business leadership, and there's also the public management. So within the public management, today I have got doctors. So this past few weeks we had doctors, and it was very interesting. And it's diverse. We've got agronomists all in there. So I have learned a lot. So those are the 3 aspects, the difference. The first one, anybody can join, be a Yali Network. The second one, RLC, you can travel to South Africa. The third one, you travel for 6 weeks to the America. Okay. You get a visa.
Well, it's Gabs FM Power to Engage Your World. 3956962. Please be part and parcel of the conversation. And of course, we're speaking to our Oabile Tau, Emerging Voices and Alumni Coordinator. A lot of people want to understand what value can I draw from the US Embassy in line with human capital development. This is your opportunity to ask questions about Bana Balona, and of course, whether you're an academic professional. I always say Samantha's been on one of the US Embassy programming in the arts. I have been on one in terms of civic engagement. So the value is endless.
It's
and
immense.
It's immense. And I'd like to congratulate the new cohort. I do know that you had something happening this past week. Walk us through what was happening this past week, and of course, how Botswana can get involved.
Thank you so much for your question. So this week, since Monday, let me say this first. When we opened for applications for the yearly program, we received over 300 applications from Botswana, young leaders.
Over 300, and you guys had to stream that down
to only 18.
Oh my gosh, that couldn't have been easy. That could not have been easy.
It was not an easy process. And so I want to thank the team, thank the mission staff who actually helped us, even through the recruitment process. So now that we had our 18, and they are leaving next month, we then held a pre-fellowship orientation. This was the first time our fellows met together, and they actually got to learn more. And we were there trying not for them to get lost, because you are traveling to the US. So let's prepare you as to what it is that you're going to, to encounter when you're traveling.
So is that also to mitigate like culture shock?
Exactly. So because one of we had some of our mission staff also even talk about, the cultural norms, so that they're not culturally shocked. They talked about jet lag. Please know, hauloiwi. It is just an issue.
Oh Lord, yes.
It's just an issue that you're in a different hemisphere, and so you could just come down. So all of that was trying to prepare our fellows to say you're going to meet over 700 other fellows from the continent, and so learn the diversity of what it is that you're going to encounter, and also prepare them in terms of, one of my favorite was the elevator pitch, where they had to pitch the ideas, sell themselves in less than a minute. And it was amazing.
I'm actually glad you're having people actually practice that, because I think a lot of people don't practice the elevator pitch enough.
No, they don't. And I nearly wasn't the favorite, but when they finally nailed it,
you're like, yes,
I became the queen.
Yes. Samantha, I like that you mentioned that, because although jokes aside, I mean, traveling to the US is also an opportunity to meet that person that opens a door for you, whether it's in your business life, whether it's in civic. And it's so important that we also train our own to be able to articulate their dreams.
How
and
do you
their
sell
visions.
yourself in 1 minute?
It's absolutely important. And I know in US culture, that is part and parcel of US culture, to be able to articulate what I'm here, this is what I want, this is what I want to achieve, bam, bam, bam.
And one of the things is also has to do with culture. Our culture tells us, people say the boat, you have to be very modest, and you humble yourself. The I doesn't exist in our culture. It's the we aspect. So even if I have an initiative, I'm always drawn to saying we did this, we did that, and then but then you're not. It doesn't allow you to actually talk about the things that you do, because it is believed that you are being pompous. So you shouldn't do that. So the peer, the fellowship, the pre-departure fellowship orientation was to also try to get our young leaders to say, you were selected for a reason. And when you get this, sell your ideas.
You belong here.
And show them that you belong. Because, when you meet others, if you have traveled like I have, you almost feel like you haven't done much. Because when they get there, because they addressed an assembly of primary school kids and they were 30, when they get there, it's like, and these 30 kids were from 5 different primary schools. They'll be there, I was addressing, people from at a regional level where we had five primaries converging together, and you would think it was a conference, but it was just a simple assembly.
But because they know how to sell what it is that they did.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are the leaders that I have worked with and I know the amount of work that they have put in. These young fellows are doing amazing work here, and I just wanted, an opportunity for them to be able to amplify the works that they do, and also offer our community an opportunity to actually see and meet them for who they are, and see how they can leverage on that. Because here are fellows who are saying, I'm ready to work. Just put me to work, because I'm already in this market already. So appealing also to the local NGOs, local community as well, to the private sector, to say, when you meet the Mandela Washington Fellows, you should know that they are a partner, and they are young people who are willing to literally change the world and change Botswana.
A quick question, Rabila. I think a lot of people are listening and wondering, what are the requirements, eligibility for somebody to be part of the fellowship? What were you guys looking for?
All right. So in order for you to actually get in and be a fellow, number one, obviously the age aspect does come in, 25 to 35. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I can never be a fellow. Right? But, in terms of age, we actually can consider young people who are between the ages of 21 to 24 if they do have an exceptional record to show. Like, for instance, remember when I talked earlier on, Sam, about the regional leadership centers, it also has an age limit as well. And for the first time today, I actually learned yesterday that we have the youngest RLC participant who will be traveling to Pretoria, to Midrand.
How old?
Our own, he's only 18 years old.
Wow.
So this is what I call about exceptional. But let's go back to what you asked me, criteria of what we're looking for, right? So we're looking at proven record of leadership or accomplishments in any of these tracks, whether in business. It's one thing to always tell me, I did this, I did this. Can I see the proof? So there should be traction. And that is the reason why I always say, document what you do.
Everything. You say that every week. Document. Yeah.
Even if it means open a free online platform where you can actually post the work that you do.
Yeah.
And it's not about your person, it's about your work, your credibility. We're also looking at demonstrated commitment to any of this within these tracks, as well as your community as well. And what do I mean by demonstrated commitment? It is not like, when you were in school and you did a project and then that was that because you had to do it because it's community service in a period. Okay. But then these are fellows who over the years have shown that they keep doing whatever it is, that project over time.
Consistency.
And it's consistency. Thank you. That is the word, consistency as well. Ability to work, also diverse communities. We're looking at that. We're looking at people's communication skills.
Yeah.
And obviously, which I love for me, is that our fellows had to be energetic and have a positive attitude. Like moi. Like me. I'm just saying, like Swift, like yourself, Sam, right? So we needed that. And you also had to show in your application demonstrated knowledge of what you're interested in and your professional experience as well with regards to what you're saying. A lot of times you'll find that, somebody would say, hey, American Embassy has a grant for a particular aspect. That is not their area of interest. Then they just dive in. Right?
Absolutely.
And that can be good for you, right? Because it doesn't demonstrate that you actually have an interest in this or that. So we're looking at a wider range of that. But you had to be a Botswana and you had to reside in Botswana for you to actually qualify.
Well, it's Gabs FM, powered to engage your world. And of course, welcome to the Stars and Stripes radio show, proudly brought to you by the U.S. Embassy in partnership with Gabs FM. And of course, the theme of today is the Yali, and it is a brilliant fellowship that some of our very own 18 young Botswana members of the youth are traveling to the United States to be part and parcel of the 2023 cohort, which is an absolute milestone in line with human capital development as we walk into the knowledge-based economy. Look, let me ask you this question, and I'm going to do it as a two-part. Just touch on some of the activities that these young leaders will get into while they're that side, as well as I think an important component is how can one partner with the fellowship? And of course, to understand what values can be driven or benefits can be driven from these kind of partnerships.
That's a very good question there, because there's a lot that our fellows are going to be doing. Remember, they're there for 6 weeks, right?
Wow.
I really wish to tell them that every day will be an excursion. But remember, this is a fellowship.
Yeah.
The U.S. government, to send these 18 Botswana young leaders to the U.S., has spent over $400,000 US.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And they are going to be placed in institutes, right? Our universities and colleges. And so they will be taught They'll be taught by professors in these different institutions.
With other fellows from across Africa.
With other fellows from across. They also have an opportunity to also travel and see part of the US as well. And it is tied and mirrored against by the projects that they themselves want to do. So it's an opportunity for them to also benchmark, right? But the one thing they also get to showcase the country and the projects that they do. I think my fellows that will come in later and they will tell you they're looking forward to the showcase because they talk about themselves and they get to be African and Botswana, sell Botswana in every aspect that, every great thing. But for me, the biggest one, even for them, is that they also get to attend the summit where they meet up with, the Congress leaders.
Wow.
And so that is just so fantastic. That's part of what this fellowship is about. Not only are they being trained in these skills by, experts in the field, our US experts, professors, they also get to engage with the communities and also meet some of the parliamentarians, as we would call them, right? Senators and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're fast running out of time and allow us to continue conversation. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us. And of course, Botswana should get involved, engage the U.S. Embassy on all their social media platforms. Let me give you this opportunity to share your parting statement and of course, touch on how one can partner with the fellowship, whether in the United States or in Africa. And of course, what would you like to say to Botswana that, and I mean this with all due respect, that are not conscious of some of these programming that the U.S. Embassy offers to Bana ba rona?
All right. Thank you so much. Well, in terms of partnerships, I would say that, we have different NGOs that partner with the program. And to learn more, go into the yali.state.gov website. But we have people who are organizations or NGOs, private sectors who partner whether to sponsor the fellows to actually for us to be able to place them, because some of them are going into really there's one going into Cornell University, so they'll be there, and that's like one of the schools that, well, in terms of fees is high up there, right, with the rest. And so partner in terms of, well, using them as resources as well. How can you help our fellows gain those skills? Maybe you want to offer internships. So even as they're coming back, how can you partner with Yali, offer our fellows some way to intern, to harness the skills that, they have received while in the US. And so please just go into yali.state.gov and then just find out how you can partner with them. Reach out through them via even the emails, very responsive. And if nothing else, just reach out to us as the embassy, and then we will also try to liaison and get you with them. And my last parting words, please, I always say this all the time, opportunities, even if they don't come, they are created. Create opportunities for yourselves,
I like that.
And so that you are also able to be here. Some of these fellows that I've met, they were doing it for themselves. They were doing this with a vision. Have a vision as to what you want to do, right? Be intentional right now to say, every day when I wake up, what am I doing and how is it aligning to what I want to do? By the time when you actually see this, they created an opportunity by their portfolios. So for me, I'm always asking each and every one of them, on average, they receive $25,000 right, for the work in their portfolio. My question would be to young people, how much is your portfolio worth? That's it.
Well, it's Gabs FM Power to engage your world. And I think also we need to also encourage those that did not qualify. I think it is important to say, keep on keeping on. Just because you didn't make it, there will be another cohort. Keep on keeping on. And Samantha and Swift have a little message for you. Enjoy it.
Some stuff takes time. Greatness takes time. It takes time to build your brand. It takes time to build your life. It takes time to build your career. The thing you need to win is resilience. You can't just keep trying different stuff, because you can never say something didn't work when you didn't half try. You got to be prepared to get 1,000 no's to get one yes. Be resilient. Stick it out. Winter, spring, summer, fall, resilient. You abide when things are going right, and you abide when things are going wrong. You abide when everything falls into place, and you abide when all hell breaks loose.
The Stars and Stripes show is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy.